Hi, folks. Welcome to our virtual orientation. Today we have a special session for family and friends, and we have two phenomenal student affairs practitioners, directors who have students at the heart of everything that they do. So it is my pleasure to introduce our presenters, Stephanie Para, who's the director of the CUNY Edge program, and then Johnny Lazado, who is the director of our Urban Male Leadership Program. And they will be presenting this session to you and answering questions. They have been every evaluation for orientation, the parents comment and people say that they are the best leaders of this session. And we know that they are awesome, but it's pretty cool to hear people say that, how helpful this session was. So please look at them, ask questions. Look at it as a session to collect resources. If you are a student, I want to introduce you to David, who is our Associate Director of Clubs and Organizations. Emily is our awesome Student Leadership Coordinator and Programmer at Campus Live. And we are here to support you. I am Suzette. We're all here to support you. We will see you in person next week at the actual orientation. But let me give it up to the people who are actually the speakers for today, Stephanie and Johnny. Thank you for doing this, and it's all yours.
Hello, good evening. Stephanie, you could say good evening too. I don't want to
Hi,
step on your
everyone.
toes. Hello. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Lehman College. First, thank you for being here, parents and transfer students and whoever's on the line right now. I know there's plenty of other places I'm sure you'd like to be on this beautiful, Thursday night, and it's like 80 degrees outside, but you're here with us and you're spending part of your evening with us. And for us, it's important that it's not just your student that gets to know Lehman. We want the family to get to know Lehman as well. Because even though your son or your daughter is the one taking the classes, you are still a very important part of the process. Tonight, we want to help you understand a little bit more about how college works, what you can expect, and especially how you can support your student as they begin this new chapter. There's a lot of questions that you may want to ask that they might want to ask. And sometimes it's easier for them to ask their parent. And we're here to equip you with information that can help you answer those difficult questions rather than them be afraid to approach one of us, because I have children as well, but that'll come later in our About Me section, right? So please, if you have any questions, right, please ask them. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. Next slide, Ms. Power. Oh, about me. Hey, if there's one thing I like to do is talk about myself. So before we go any further, I want to introduce myself. My name is Johnny Lazada, and I am from Brooklyn, New York. Ooh, ooh. I share some of my story because I think it's important, especially when we're talking to families about education. I myself did not take a traditional path to college. I left school at a very young age. I had to be responsible for family situations, family circumstances, and I had to work early. And I became a young father, and life started to life. And what happened was I decided to get my GED at the ripe old age of 38 years old, right? And even before that, while I was waiting to get my GED, I spent a lot of time in my career at the time. I was a limousine dispatcher. Yay! Those guys are always very happy. And so when I talk to students who are still trying to figure out their path, I understand it because I was in the same boat not so long ago. I had to figure out what was my path. And eventually I found my way to LaGuardia Community College, and that experience really started to change my life. And from LaGuardia, I continued my education at NYU and eventually earned my master's degree right here at Lehman College. And now I have the opportunity not only to work here, but to teach here. As Cami said, I teach a class here. Yay. My current role at Lehman is the director of the Urban Male Leadership Program and CREAR Futuros. Through those programs, my team and I work with students on mentorship, academic support, leadership development, career preparation, and connecting them to the resources and opportunities that can help them succeed at Lehman and beyond. That means something to me because I know what it feels like to be on the other side of that desk and asking, Can I really do this? Am I worthy, per se? And the answer to that is yes. And on top of everything, I'm also a proud Puerto Rican from Brooklyn, as I stated. I wear my Puerto Rican flag on my forehead sometimes, but it's what I identify with most. And probably the most important thing and the most salient part of my identity is my family. I'm a father, and I'm also somebody's grandfather. So tonight, I'm not only speaking to you as somebody who works at Lehman College, or as a professor, or as a director of a program. I'm also speaking to you as a parent, because I know what it is to be in that role. I understand wanting our kids to have the opportunities, wanting them to be okay, wanting them to avoid some of the mistakes that we made. How many mistakes were there? And hopefully wanting them to go further than we did. That perspective is a big part of what this conversation is going to be about tonight. And I hand it off to Ms. Steph.
Hi, everyone. So a little bit about me. My name is Stephanie Para, and I am the director of the CUNY program here at Lehman College. I will start off by explaining exactly what CUNY is, just because it might be of interest to you with your children. So we service students who have an active public assistance case. So if you're receiving any type of public cash assistance from the government, then we help your student, one, transition into college with academic and career advisement. But we also supply them with MetroCard funding, because once they come over to college, there's no more Omni cards like they did have in high school. And we also provide childcare funding for students who have children. So we play a big part in retaining the student and just making sure that the financial barriers do not stop them from being academically successful. I also got my degree at Lehman. And I was also a student of the CUNY program. So when I started college, I was also receiving public benefits, and the CUNY program helped me tremendously. And it created this passion inside of me to help students that are just like me. So now I am the director of the CUNY program, and I'm able to do that every day, and I love it. I am also a first generation college student. I am an immigrant. I was born in Dominican Republic and came over here at 5. And I understand what it's like to have to learn a new language and the language barriers out there. I also got my master's degree at Lehman. I got it in organizational leadership. So I am a Lehman baby. I have done everything at Lehman. Lehman is an amazing school, and it have helped me become who I am today and provided all the support that I needed to be successful, because I was also a single mom trying to work and go to school at the same time. So the barriers were there, but Lehman was there to help with those barriers, to to gap being the bridge. So welcome. Now, our program objective today is for you to have a better understanding of the resources and experiences that your student will be having here at Lehman College, the understanding of academic expectations, student empowerment, responsibility and connection, just how to help your student navigate college, and then parent-college connection. How can you feel connected to Lehman as well while your student is attending the school? And like Johnny mentioned, if you have any questions at any point, please feel free to ask away. Now, family and friends. As partners, there's ways that we could support our students when they're making this transition to coming over to college. Informally, you can have family support by providing access, limiting family obligations, or at least understanding that they have this new obligation in school that may need a little more time than just going to class. Because in college, when you come over to college, it's a little different than high school, in the sense that in high school, you're there from maybe 7 in the morning to 3 p.m. Whereas in college, you may just have to be here for 3, 4, 5 hours, but you have to do a lot of independent studying. So just understanding that and seeing how you can better support your student while they have to study after classes will be very helpful for them through you as a family member. Also leveraging the connections you have. If there are any connections that you have that can help your student, that can also be helpful. Now, how can you help them in like providing financial support? It could be something simple as providing transportation, whether it's making sure they have a Metro card. If you drive, giving them a ride to school just to ease that their commute to school. helping them with books, with food, with laundry, with childcare if needed. If your child has a child and you're able to take care of their children when they come to school, that would be very helpful. Also, how can you be supportive to your student as friends, as parents, as the network? Coping with drastic life changes, so just being there for them while they're navigating life. Having a close group of friends that will be there to listen to you, to understand you, to just be able to vent to them will be super helpful. So promote the friendships, encourage them to connect, to make connections on campus, because if they make those connections and they're able to get along with their peers, they can talk to them and they can be support for one another, like when they're struggling, because they understand what they're going through at the time. Also, just go into the resources on campus. Like I mentioned earlier, Lehman helped me a lot because I went and got the resources that I needed to be successful. And needing something doesn't mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just where you are in life and being grateful that it's there and available for you to be successful. So just encourage your students to look for the resources that we offer on campus, because we have a different events where they're able to come and find out about the resources, but they can also find out. They can go around campus and go to different offices and say, hey, my name is Stephanie. What do you offer in this office, to see if it benefit them? And they can go and kind of do a little shopping for themselves. What resources can I shop for today, right? To help me be successful. Any questions so far? No, great. Now, what to expect, common concerns for new students. So this might be some concerns that your students have that maybe they have talked to you about, maybe they don't, but they might feel that way. Classes will be too hard. So I know even when I was in high school, my high school teachers used to make me feel like college was going to be the worst experience ever. Like classes were going to get 100 times harder than high school. And I was not going to be too successful because they put all this pressure back in high school. But when I got to college, I realized this is just high school as an adult, right? Like going to class, making sure that I got my assignments done, and staying on top of all my assignments. Basically, it's just a transition and a little more studying on my own, but it's not a lot harder than what they were already doing. They had a full day of classes, sometimes even 10 classes a day. So it's just a transition from high school to college. Uh, they also may feel like they're starting over. It's going to be hard making new friends. But again, we offer so many events during the school year for them to make those connections and make new friends, have new peers that they're able to go to class with and then go and study with at the library, go to an event together. So they can definitely make new friends. A lot of them are coming without friends and they want to make those connections. So just them being on campus could be very helpful. Also, not being undecided on a major and just not having general direction. That's very common for students. They come to college and they think they have to have it figured out, but they don't. This is the time for them to discover what it is what's their interest, what is it that they want to do. You don't have to come to college and already know what you want to do. That wasn't my experience. I came to college because I knew that I wanted an education, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I figured that out along the way. For instance, I took a psychology class and I fell in love with psychology. And I'm like, hey, I think I want to go this route to understand myself and understand others. Right. So sometimes it's just taking classes and figuring out this is my interest. Right. And we also have great advisors on campus that can also help them figure out what may be of interest to them. Right. Also, another concern that students have is not having enough money for tuition. We do offer financial aid, and a lot of our students qualify for financial aid, so that's something that they can apply for. And by now, most of them should have applied for. And there's also scholarships that they can apply for and other resources. It's just about getting around campus and figuring out what is available to them. But that is also a concern for many students. And also getting help from others. Students sometimes are intimidated and they don't want to go and ask questions. But we try to create a culture where our doors are open and we're very welcoming. We want you to come in. We want to help you. That's what we're here for. So just encourage them to ask questions, go into offices, and if they hit any roadblock, tell them that they have the support that they need at Lehman. It's just an office away. Now, encourage your students to attend all classes. Make sure that you let them know that attending classes is important because it can impact their grade. Make connections with faculty, staff, advisors, and other students. So even, see, Johnny is both a faculty member and and a staff member and an advisor, actually. So there you go. You have you have 3 in 1 there, but also students and just all around so that it could be the experience could be better for them and they can have multiple people that they can go to when they need something. So encourage them to meet with their academic advisor for registration. They have to meet with their academic advisor because they will give them the direction that they need to take the classes that are required. Also, encourage them to seek tutoring services. We have noticed that sometimes students, they wait till they're very behind to seek tutoring, right? And that doesn't always have to be the case. If you're already going to a class, for instance, I'm not really good at math. I already know that. So day one, I'm already a little lost. So I used to seek that tutoring early on so that I didn't fall behind. So you can still encourage them to seek tutoring, even if they feel like they don't need it at the time, because it's just an extra resource for them, especially with the harder classes like the science, the math. That would be very helpful. Also encourage them to get involved, join a club. There's so many clubs, so many different clubs in the student life building. They're amazing at providing a space for the students to create those clubs and to make those connections. Also participate in different programs. Different programs can offer different help. Like I said, the CUNY program is here for students who receive public assistance, and we're able to help them with financial barriers. Also, encourage them to apply for on-campus employment. The Career Center does a great job at sending emails about any openings that are on campus and off campus. Like they literally today, they sent out an email saying that for students to send their resumes because there's college assistant positions that may be open and they'll be able to refer them to that. So encourage them to read their emails because if they're not opening their emails, they wouldn't get that email, right? So encourage them to read their emails and then to seek that employment because it's nice to be able to work on campus and go to school in one place if you're able to get the opportunity. I experienced that as well. I was a work study student and I loved it. I used to go to from my work site over to class. It was so easy, no commute outside of campus. So encourage them to do that as well. Now, going into all the events that we offer, right, for your student to transition. So in addition to the orientation that we provide here, student can expect weeks of welcome for their first 6 weeks on campus. So this was made just for the students to transition over and to get to know the campus. So we have many kickoff events. There's flyers everywhere for them to know when it's happening and at what time and the location. And that's a great time for them to, one, get to know the campus, and two, get to know their peers, other students that are also in the same situation. And even all of our administrators, most of us are in those events as well. So it's a good way to connect. The club fair, as I mentioned before, encourage them to join a club. I believe, Susa, how many clubs is it that you guys have right now?
We have 83 different clubs. And if you want to have a club,
Isn't it 84?
It's probably 84. I don't know.
I was counting them.
But you can form a club, you guys. If you want a club that is not there, you can form a club. And you have Stephanie, Johnny, you have people who may be advisors. So thank you for that, Stephanie.
Absolutely. So we're joining a club. I mean, there's 83, 84 of them. They'll find a club that works for them. And they can, if there aren't any that work for them, encourage them to be the initiator to create a club.
Let me also say something. I'm not going to jump in all the time. Don't worry. But as
No,
you
of
said,
course, no problem.
if you don't want to join the club, like if you feel kind of weird of joining a club, Emily reminded me of this. We have leadership classes, which it's like 3 classes or 4 classes. It's not forever. It's free, and the president is coming in and teaching public speaking at one of them. So it's really, it's non-committal. It's not like a long, extensive, you just come for 2 classes or 3 classes. We're teaching you leadership models. We're teaching you public speaking. You can choose which one you want. We're teaching you how to advocate and do lobbying. All of these are cool things that are free. Today, I wanted to go to a conference and I clicked on to be like, how much is the registration? And it's $795 for
They're
registration.
expensive.
It's expensive. Take advantage of like all the free things that are on campus. All right.
Absolutely. And just to follow up on that, we also tried our best to connect that academic and career world for students. Leadership is not just for academics, it's also for when they're going to the workforce. So these are skills that they're developing while they're in school that then they become great candidates in the future for the workforce. So encourage them to take advantage of that as well. And they're free
Just,
for them. Like
yes.
Suzette mentioned, it was $700 and something. It's completely free for them at Lehman, being a Lehman student.
And also, all of us on here that work at Lehman can attest, the more connected a student is to campus, the more academically successful they're going to be. And they always tend to rise to the top and become leaders on campus. And those leadership qualities that they develop in those roles carry on far beyond their undergraduate careers, guys. So you need to encourage that. Some of my best students start off very timid. And as many of you know, we will mention him by name. Gabriel Ben Cosme is now the face of every program that he touches. And that's the type of student we want to see leaving Lehman College. And that's why we do all of these things for them. I'm sorry, Stephanie.
Absolutely. No, that's great. Also, there's community service opportunities as well. They can ask about that during their time at Lehman. I know many students volunteer for the food pantry that we have on campus. And it's a great resource for students, but it's also nice to be able to help. Also, we do a food drive when we give away turkeys for Thanksgiving, and students volunteer for that as well to put the bags together. And it's a great opportunity. Just to let you know, I actually ended up hiring somebody who volunteered for that event to bag up the groceries, and I saw how amazing he was, and he's working with me now in my office. So again, even doing community service can open up opportunities for your students. Also joining student government. Student government is also a great place to be because you get to make changes, right? And you get to have some type of leadership and some type of say on what goes on campus. So encourage them to also join student government. In the club fair, student government is also there and in different events, so they can always approach them and ask them questions. And also we have the lightning connections that reflect all of the events that we have on campus. And that is a site that they can go on to check everything that's available for them. Okay, so I did the fun part, right? And I'm gonna give Johnny the not so fun part, like all the serious stuff.
Of course.
So Johnny, take it away. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. My favorite part. I get to be the Debbie Downer, I guess. Or no,
No, this is great.
because let's talk about academic expectations, right? Because it's a different world between high school and college. And the more equipped your students, children, are the more equipped they are, the better prepared they are, the more successful they're going to be. So this is the point of this. You probably wonder, why are we doing this, right? Because it's very important that you get to know all of these requirements. First and foremost, every Lehman College bachelor's degree requires 120 college credits. Okay, so those college credits are divided into 3 categories. You have your general education requirements, which is your liberal arts core, major concentration courses, which is the subject area that you're going to specialize in or major in, and to round it all off are your elective courses. So an explanation on that is, when your students are first coming to Lehman College, they will begin with taking a majority of their general education requirements with a lean towards their anticipated major. Some students aren't ready to take anything associated with a major because they're not sure what their major is going to be. Whereas there are some students that, some in particular, that come to our office that they say, I'm going to be a nurse. I'm going to be the next media mogul. I'm going to be a speech therapist. So we try to lean those credits or those classes that they'll be taking in the interim towards those type of interests. Because the more a student is invested in the classes, because case, quote unquote, that's what they're there for, the more successful the student is going to be in the class. It's when they feel that they're taking classes that don't count for anything is when they feel like they're going to be checked out. So what we need for you as parents to do is to really emphasize the importance of taking all of these classes. Each and every credit counts. The worst thing is for a student to come in and focus on major courses and not realize that it's 120 credits to get to the finish line. So again, in our partnership with Lehman College and parents of students of Lehman College students, we would like you to emphasize that to them. Okay, thank you, Emily. So there's a really important thing that I want to, if you can go back to the other, because I have to stress this, right? Students will think that they'll log on to their DegreeWorks audit and feel like if they follow their DegreeWorks audit, that is going to be, and they'll be finished with all their classes and they'll graduate. But it's very important that, and Stephanie touched on it earlier, it is very important that they meet with an academic advisor, a general academic advisor, and their major advisor, because each and every major here has their own nuances and pathways that must be followed and have prerequisites attached to certain courses that won't allow you to take other courses afterwards. So you must be mindful of this, and the only individuals that can help you with that are academic advisors. I stress this point because I have had many conversations with students who felt that they completed all their requirements, but then they get to a point where they can no longer register for courses, and it's because they failed to complete a prerequisite course in the interim early on in the process. So it can delay their graduation, guys. So you as parents have to stress to them. And as I stated, I'm a parent myself. Tell them, did you go see your advisor? Did you go see your advisor? The more you do that, the better off the student is going to be. We good? What's going on? I'm sorry. All right, and that also take advantage of the tutoring and academic support services. Academic support services, as I stated, are your advisement at Lehman, onboarding advisement office, which is across the hall from me at the old gym room 305, the Office of Undergraduate Academic Advising, graduation specialists. Graduation specialists, you'll be dealing with graduation specialists at the end of your journey. Those are the individuals on campus that will be tallying up all of your credits and making sure that you've checked off all the boxes to ensure that you have graduated and then you have your degree conferred, right? The Lehman College Tutoring Center, I send students there all the time. I've even embedded some of the tutors to come into my own class to further support my students. All of this is available to you. The Lehman College Tutoring Center offers workshops and tutoring for undergraduate students and graduate students just seeking to improve your writing. If you feel like your student is not a great writer, this is the opportunity to get this out of the way, because if there's one thing you're going to do as a college student, and everybody in this room can attest, you are going to write. Even if it's a science class, you're going to write. So you have to improve those skills. And please take advantage of the Math and Statistics Student Service Success Center, because sometimes not everybody's a great mathematician. I still use my fingers and toes to do math. I'm sorry. No, please forgive me. So tell them to take advantage of that. And for any of the students who are perhaps taking any of the sciences, any of the majors that require a lot of sciences, like nursing, like chemistry, like biology, please encourage them to go to the Learning Center. Now, why are we telling you this? because we want parents to have this information sooner than later. So when, again, I'm a parent and a grandparent, when they say, oh, well, none of that's available to me, the informed parent will be like, yes, there is. Go to such and such place, or you can always go to lehman.edu to look up these things, but we're going to get to that later on in the presentation. Ms. Para, continue. Oh, my favorite, the syllabus. The syllabus is a contract between the professor and the students, right? It outlines expectations, what are the common policies in the class, and of course, the course content. You use it as, what I do is, what you can do as a parent is use it as a conversation starter, right? Hey, what's going on in your class? I'm curious, what kind of material you're going to be covering in this class? I'm genuinely interested. It works twofold. A, you get information from the student about what kind of work is going to be in that syllabus and what kind of load is going to be expected of them in the semester. And B, genuinely you're showing interest in their studies, and that helps to connect you to, and they'll be more willing to approach you when they need assistance on the syllabus, because you showed that genuine interest in the beginning, right? Also, support time management. Looking at the syllabus, you as a parent, you'll be able to let them know what's waiting in the wings for them, per se, right? So tell them you have to take this class seriously, and also you can navigate it with them and highlight key points during the semester that they should be handing stuff in, and be that, that, hey, did you hand this stuff in? Give them a friendly nudge, like I used to do with my daughter. Funny story, really quick. I didn't mention it. I was actually a student with my oldest child at LaGuardia Community College. We were in the same classes. So yeah, I used to nudge her all the time, right? But college syllabi are more detailed and binding than high school courses, the high school course outlines, meaning a lot of professors, and me myself being one of them as well, I will go over the syllabus in the beginning of the semester, but then anytime after that, I will always say it's on the syllabus. Did you check the syllabus? And the syllabus is available to students in my class in 3 different areas. I email it to them, I share it with them as a PDF in the first day of class, and it's available on the Brightspace page. So they can never say, I can't find the syllabus, right? And again, to emphasize, it allows the parent to understand the workload that is ahead for their student. This is an example of a class syllabus. And as you can tell, it gives you the week by week breakdown of what is expected of them, and gives you homework. It gives you what is coming up next week. That way they can properly prepare, or any relevant readings, any relevant assignments, any relevant videos. A lot of us use videos instead of reading. A lot of us use both. All of these, if they're on the syllabus, the student should know it and should complete whatever assignment is assigned to them.
I just want to add as well, to encourage your student to get to know Brightspace before classes begin, just because most of their assignments are going to be on Brightspace, and if they know the system already, it'll be easier for them to find the assignments and to submit them. So encourage them to play around with the system so that they're familiar by the time the class begin. And the syllabus is usually put on there before classes even start, at least a day or two before,
Right.
for the most part.
And a side note on that, if they're not familiar with what Brightspace even is, there are a lot of workshops that are being held by the IT Center here at Lehman College that will allow them to sit through a presentation of what Brightspace is. That way they're not going into it cold. So that's something else that they could take advantage of, that they will find where? At lehman.edu.
Yes,
Next
it's their
slide.
new Google Classroom, just Brightspace now.
True. Hey, I'll pass it on to Miss Stephanie Parra.
So now I'm going to explain a little bit what the FERPA is. So FERPA stands for Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, sometimes called the Buckley Amendment, passed by Congress in 1974. The act helped protect the privacy and accuracy of student educational records. So that's basically what a FERPA is. Now, what does that mean for you? That means that technically, after a student turns 18, they are in control of their records. It's not like when they were minors where you were able to call their school, call the hospital and get their records. Now, when they turn 18, they're the ones that have access to their records. So they have the rights and the access to the educational records transferred to them. This means that parents or guardians no longer have the automatic access to their students' academic information. If someone, including parents, wants to view their records, the student must give their permission. Lehman College cannot share grades or other record details unless the student has chosen to allow it. At Lehman, students have full control over the academic information. So basically, if you were to call a professor or call the school to find out if your student is passing or anything like that, we wouldn't be able to give you the information because that is private to them. But if they want you to have access to that information, they can request it. And this is what that looks like. It's permission for access to educational records. And they can do this on CUNY first, and their name and their EMPL will already be there, and then they can fill it out and put all the information here. So if they want to give you that access, they can, but they have to do this first. And this is through the office of the registrar. This is what our website looks like. You can also, as a parent, become familiar with the website and get a lot of the information that you may be seeking through the website. Because although you don't have direct access to your student's record, you can always find out what's available to your student and how they can get the help that they need. An example of that is knowing the name of the process. So for instance, if you know that your student has a balance and they're getting an email saying that their classes are going to be dropped, you can always find out what's the name of the process. What do my student have to do to get that hold taken out or to pay that? Like, what office do they need to go to pay that amount? And then we will be able to tell you the bursar's office. So then you know the name of the process and you can tell your student, go to the bursar's office to make that payment so that they don't drop your classes, right? You can also ask for guidance. Please walk me through all the steps to completion so you can better support your students. So you can ask that as well. Also, is there any paperwork involved and that can be sent to me? Where do I find it? Because of course we could send you paperwork, just not with any information, like any forms and things like that. You can have access to that, just nothing personal to your student. Any questions about that? So we are at the end of our PowerPoint. So we open the floor for parents to ask any questions they may have, or students. Well, we did such a great job that there are no questions.
You did a really great job. Like, this was a phenomenal presentation. I mean, and people can put their questions in the chat
Thank
too.
you, Suzette. Yeah, so you can always put your questions in the chat.
Mhm.
I will also share my email in case you have any questions after. So feel free to reach out to me, especially if you have an active public assistance case so we can connect.
Well, I'm sure Stephanie shares the same sentiment. I hope you guys got something out of this. And again, if maybe something didn't strike you as a question that should be asked right now, but we're always available to ask those questions, whether it be via email or if we see you at orientation next week, right? Right. We won't be difficult to find.
No. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to be here today, to listen to us, to get some information. And I hope you have a great rest of your night.
I want to thank you, Stephanie, and Johnny just, oh, go ahead, Johnny.
Wait, Musa fall unmuted. Musa, you have a question?
Yeah, so I'm a student coming to the that's going to the fall semester. Is there anything I need to know, like anything else you need to know about the campus?
Yes, and you can find out next week during orientation. We have a whole setup for you to get all
And-
the information you need.
Oh,
And
what day
can-
is that? Oh,
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Musa, you want to jump in? He's asking the
I'm good.
date.
You know what? I'm gonna also put the it's going to be on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You can do Tuesday and Thursday or Wednesday and Thursday. But Musa, I'm gonna put the link, the registration link in the chat because you definitely should come in person to the session. It would be very helpful for you.
all right.
Absolutely.
Anybody else?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I just want to jump in really quick. We have one more virtual session on Monday, and I will be covering that a little bit of like, you know, I'm pulling up a map of where things are located and whatnot. In addition to that, I put a link in the chat that shows, you know, the dates and whatnot for all of new student orientation. Please come in person, as everybody's been expressing, because there's going to be campus tours that you can also sign up for. So they'll actually take you to the different locations that you'll need to go.
Emily, you're so on top of it. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
You know me.
Yes, you are. Thank you, Johnny, Stephanie. Thank you very, very much for this. And David, Victoria, Emily, I'll see you back in a few. Well, I'll see everybody back, all of you back at 7 o'clock. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.